This week on Healthy Living, we highlight the need of sanitary pads for girls. 1 in 10 girls in sub-Saharan Africa misses school during their menstruation. Plus, in Mozambique, education programs are combating girls dropping out of school due to early pregnancy, sexual violence, and abuse. That's in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello and welcome to Healthy Living. I'm Mkamiti Kibayasi. United Nations estimates that 1 in 10 girls in sub-Saharan Africa misses school during their menstruation, which can add up to as much as 20% of school year. In addition to that, the global problem of continuous rise in prices has pushed up the cost of pads in many African nations, driving more girls out of school or to unhygienic alternatives that can cause infections and infertility, says health experts. A school teacher in Ghana is helping to address girls' absenteeism in school through the provision of reusable sanitary pads. Hamdia Abdulatif said she embarked on the project after discovering that most girl students abstain from the school she teaches due to period poverty. Hamza Adams sent this report from Kumasi.
In Afari, a remote town in Ghana's Ashanti state, a teacher has found an innovative solution to a common but rarely discussed problem. Amdia Abdulatif, a teacher at a 200-student school, noticed a problem. Her female students were regularly absent from class.
When I started teaching in this school in Afari town, I discovered that many female students do not come to school when they are menstruating due to period poverty.
Period poverty, Abdulatif says, is a term commonly associated with lack of access to sanitary pads or cleaning products. This pushes young girls to miss school during the time of the month they menstruate. Abdulatif founded Ecomi Africa, a reusable sanitary pads production facility, to offer her students products for free. She says it was important that the products are easy to clean and environmentally friendly.
Organic, sustainable fabric, biochemicals.
We're using organic, sustainable fabric to make these pads. We don't add any kind of chemical. The materials we're using are antimicrobials. The pads are reusable. Users can wash and dry them after use. It's affordable, healthy, and also good for the environment.
This student says the free sanitary pads have made a major impact.
I'm going to feel comfortable in going to school, and I really like it very, very much.
Ghana isn't the only place facing this issue. A 2022 report by the UN estimated that 1 in 10 girls in sub-Saharan Africa miss school during their period or eventually drop out altogether. For Hamza Adam in Afari Town, Ghana, Salim Solomon, VOA News.
Dr. Asma'u Mu'azu Mohammed is a psychologist in Abuja, Nigeria. She explains the importance of using chemical-free sanitary pads and maintaining hygiene during menstruation.
Chemicals in whatever form are harmful to the body. So the intimate part of a woman absorbs a lot. So chemicals on skin are dangerous, but chemicals on the most absorptive part of the genital area of the woman, the vagina, will even be more harmful, causing long-term and even short-term effects on the female. So every woman should know herself. How is your flow? Is it heavy? If it's very heavy, you know there are pads. There are some that come for short ones. There are some that come longer. So okay, my period is very flowy. Like I flow a lot. So you can wake up once in the night, change it. By 10 p.m. you've gone taking your nighttime shower, put on your pad. You can wake up maybe 4 or 5 hours, change it if your flow is very heavy. If it's not, fine. By the time you wake up 6, 7, take your bath and then change it again. So I would say use some that are more absorbent, then you can change them more frequently. The blood, sweat, and sebum mixing, because the part is not an exposed area of your body. So you wearing it for a very long time is giving rise to things that we are avoiding. So yes, use one that is absorbent, but you don't have to change, you don't have to use them less frequently. Just as the appropriate time, 4 to 5 hours, change your pad. 4 to 5 hours, change your pad. Blood, sweat, sebum. If they all meet together, they form a very good breeding ground for a lot of bacteria infections. So if you wash it, you're minimizing the chance of getting any infection, whatever cause. If, for example, you're even having a chemical-laden pad, you can also reduce the risk by reducing contacts. People try to use soap and feminine wash, but water is the most important and hygienic thing you can use, because the vagina itself is self-cleaning. So there's actually no point. If you want to go a step further, even though we discourage it because most of these intimate wash, they have perfume, but people that want to go a step further, use intimate wash that is between the pH of 3.8, that's concentration of the intimate wash, between 3.8 to 4.5, which is like the natural pH of the vagina. But just use water, it will suffice. Let's not underestimate the power of water. Clean water is best, so that you don't introduce chemicals, more germs, or irritants to your private parts, which will cause more effects in the long term, like rashes and itching and infections.
A Kenyan lawmaker who was asked to leave the chamber after she entered parliament with a period stain on her clothes is speaking out about period shaming. The incident has sparked a debate over the stigma surrounding menstruation in Kenya and other African nations.
In February, Kenyan Senator Gloria Orwoba entered a session in Parliament with a stain on her white pantsuit due to being caught unprepared by her monthly period. Her colleagues in the Senate called the issue taboo and private and asked her to leave.
At the end of the day, I just want to know, while we are discussing this issue that is not even in the order paper, is it because senators are not women who have periods? I want to know, because then maybe I shouldn't be in this house because I have periods, Mr. Speaker. And on my way here, I actually stained my dress. So, and this is the period stigma, Mr. Speaker. This is the period stigma that is making our girls kill themselves.
Whether or not Orwoba's menstrual stain was an accident or a stunt, the incident last month has inspired considerable debate in Kenya about period shaming of women and the problem of the lack of access to sanitary pads for schoolgirls and others in many African countries. In an interview with the Associated Press, the senator acknowledges that the incident has prompted her to concentrate on drafting a bill calling on the Kenyan government to provide an annual supply of sanitary pads to all schoolgirls and incarcerated women.
Advocacy bit needs to continue, because for legislators to feel the urgency of legislating things into law, they must be subjected to the advocacy. They must be subjected to the noise.
Studies have shown that menstruation causes widespread absence from school in many African countries by girls who stay home for fear of staining their uniforms. According to a UN survey, 1 in 10 African schoolgirls misses school during menstruation, eventually dropping out. In Kenya, the government increased budget funds to distribute pads to schoolgirls in 2018, but the amount was halved the next year. Now, Orwoba receives calls from organizations that want to make menstruation products accessible to the poor, including a British firm that wants to put up sanitary pad dispensers in public toilets. In recent years, Kenya has seen the introduction of reusable menstruation products like washable pads and silicone cups. But the lack of access to water and to clean reusable pads in some rural communities has prevented some users from embracing them.
In Mozambique, several girls have dropped out of school due to early pregnancies, forced marriages, poverty, sexual violence, and abuse. To combat these barriers, the U.S. Agency for International Development will provide $10 million over 5 years to advance basic education for more than 200,000 girls in 12 districts in the provinces of Nampula and Zambezia through the Advancing Girls Education Program, AGE.
When a 15-year-old Mozambican student became pregnant, she stopped going to school. The girl, who did not want to be identified because of the stigma, lives in the Murpula district of Nampula province in Mozambique.
I felt ashamed to go to school because I was pregnant, so I dropped out to look after myself during the pregnancy. Last year and this year, I didn't enroll because I was taking care of my son.
Teenage girls face challenges getting an education in the Mozambique's Nampula and Zambezia provinces due to teen pregnancy, forced marriages, poverty, and sexual harassment, says activist Silvana Cavani.
Some parents want their daughters to marry early and stop going to school. We know that when a girl marries early, there is no way to avoid pregnancy. And we also have the problem of distance, lack of money, and transportation.
To help, the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, is providing over $10 million towards an educational initiative for more than 200,000 girls in 12 districts across both provinces over 5 years. Tatiana Tome is the program director for the Advancing Girls Education Program, which is aimed at girls aged 10 to 19.
There are 9 compulsory classes, and this is part of a program that aims to increase the number of girls who complete basic education.
The program aims to encourage girls to stay in school. Manuel Bazo, the country's Deputy Minister of Education, says communities and families must also get more involved.
Every effort is being made so that all children enter school at the age of 6. And the efforts are being made to keep these children in school.
According to USAID, while 94% of girls in Mozambique enroll in primary school, more than half drop out by the 5th grade. Only 11% graduate, and a mere 1% continue to college. For Adina Swalehe in Nampula, Mozambique, Salim Solomon, VOA News.
A new branch of medicine uses the immersive technology of virtual reality to help patients cope with chronic pain, relieve anxiety, and even give birth. As Mike O'Sullivan reports from Los Angeles, the approach brings together the latest technology and the age-old techniques of meditation.
At Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, a woman experiences soothing sights and sounds through virtual reality, or VR. Using meditation techniques, something like those used by Buddhist monks, or in the contemplative practices of some Christian worshipers, calming the mind.
That part of your brain that's constantly chattering and talking to you and strategizing gets in the way of relaxation, gets in the way of meditation. And so what VR is doing is giving people access to this ability to inhibit that inner chattering voice.
Patients visit fantasy worlds that mirror what is happening in the real world as the VR headset monitors breathing and eye movement, helping women giving birth, for example.
We can show them a tree that they are bringing to life. And as each breath infuses that tree with life, then the leaves start to come out.
Such methods have been shown to help patients manage pain. In a randomized trial in 2018 and 2019 involving 40 women giving birth, those who used VR had a statistically significant reduction in pain. But more rigorous study is needed, says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.
That's our show for today. For more health news, wellness tips, and medical breakthroughs, stay connected to Voice of America at voaafrica.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Mkamiti VOA. Until next time, stay well and strive to make every day a healthy day.